Hello friends, my name is Michelle Fondin and I'm the author of Help! I Think My Loved One is an Alcoholic, a survival guide for lovers, family, and friends. In the last video, I spoke to you in our video forum about You Are Not Alone. It's a fantastic way to connect with community. So what I'd like for you to do is if you're watching this video and or you watched the previous video, if you could in the comment line put down, "You are not alone, my alcoholic loved one is," and then you can name the type of relationship. You don't have to name the person, just name the type of relationship. So for example, "You are not alone, my alcoholic loved one is my father." "You are not alone, my alcoholic loved one is my sister." So that way, as people are reading this and as people are viewing these videos, that they can really see this sense of community and they can really know for certain that they are not alone in this process. In this video, we're going to talk about, is my loved one an alcoholic? And how can I tell? How can I know? This question really plagued me in the beginning with my relationship with my alcoholic loved one. At first, I really didn't understand the behavior. I thought that the behavior was just, too much partying. The behavior was, oh, this person likes to have a good time. This person is fun-loving, likes to go out, likes to be with a lot of people, likes to hang out at the bars, likes to go dancing. I didn't realize that there are signs and signals to knowing and understanding if your loved one has an addiction to alcohol. It's also referred to as alcohol misuse, alcohol abuse, alcohol addiction. There are many different terms to say the exact same thing. So the first thing you need to look for is binge drinking. An alcoholic doesn't necessarily have to drink every single day. Some alcoholics only drink on the weekends or only drink at night. A lot of the alcoholics I interviewed that are recovering, of course, for my book, stated that in their head, they thought, well, if I drink after 8 p.m. or if I drink after 5 p.m. only, and I restrict it to that, then I am not an alcoholic. Rest assured, if you are planning your drinking, if your loved one is planning his or her drinking, then that is a sign and a symptom of the disease of alcoholism. So let's go back to binge drinking. Binge drinking means a couple of things. Binge drinking means that first and foremost is once the person has the first drink, it's almost a guarantee that he or she will have the second drink, the third drink, the fourth drink, the fifth drink. It means that the person finds the occasion in which he or she can drink uncontrollably. Just continue to down beer, wine, liquor, whatever it is. So that is binge drinking. It's drinking, I believe the quantity is 5 or more drinks at a sitting. Now, beware of that qualification. In my experience with alcoholics, there are a couple of things that tend to mask this. My alcoholic in my life qualified one drink as a glass. So it could be a 12-ounce glass, a 16-ounce glass, but he said he was having one drink with one glass. Now, his glass happened to be filled with pure alcohol. So his alcohol of choice was vodka. So he would fill that entire 12 to 16-ounce glass with vodka. Friends, that is not one drink, okay? Let's go over what one drink is. And this is really, it's an educational experience for you because it's really important that you know this. One drink is 1.5 ounces of 80 proof spirits. So spirits, what is spirits? We're talking about our hard liquor, okay? We're talking about vodka, gin, tequila, brown liquors. So we're talking about those type of liquors. So 1.5 ounces. So if a loved one of yours is filling up an 8-ounce glass with vodka, whiskey, any type of hard liquor, that is not one drink. So if you divide that into, even if you divide it by 4 for an 8-ounce glass, it's still 4 drinks. It's actually a little bit more. It's closer to 5. So that's just 1. Okay. A can of beer. So a can of beer equals 1 drink. A 4-ounce glass, I think it's a 3 to 4-ounce glass of wine is 1 drink. Okay. So right there, you know a little bit about what qualifies as 1 drink. Okay. So binge drinking is definitely not being able to control yourself after that first drink, that there is a guarantee that there will be other drinks after that. And so once the person starts with that first drink, they just continue on, and they find excuses for it too. And so when somebody has been drinking and somebody has an addiction to alcohol, they will say, well, I've just had a rough day. This is my occasion to party. This is my occasion to let loose and let go. I just need to relax. I need this drink to be social. And I read in a book from the Betty Ford Foundation that said, if you need a drink to be social, then that's not social drinking. So right there from the Betty Ford Foundation, that is the definition of someone who has a drinking problem. The second way you can tell if your loved one is an alcoholic is if they try to control the drinking. Okay, this is a little bit of a gray area, but hear me out. If you are not an alcoholic, you never need to control your drinking, meaning that you will have maybe a glass of wine with dinner. You might have a glass of champagne at a celebration. You might go out to a Christmas party and have a couple of mixed drinks, but you could take it or leave it. Meaning you like to have your glass of wine with dinner, you like to have a glass of champagne at a birthday celebration, but honestly, it really doesn't make any difference if it's there or it's not there. An alcoholic, once he or she realizes that it might be a problem, or once he or she realizes that other people are making comments about his drinking, what he will say is he will say, well, I'm going to stop drinking on Monday, and I'm going to go 1 week without drinking. Or he'll make bargains like, I'm going to go this entire month without drinking, or I'll stop next month. Or for example, the recovering alcoholics that I interviewed for my book said, I'll only drink after 8 p.m. on weekdays. And so when you try to control your drinking like that, it is a certain sign and symptom that there is an alcohol addiction problem. Okay, so that's a second sign. The third sign is the alcoholic will pre-game outings, and he or she will usually not go to places where alcohol is not served. Okay, so pre-gaming. Pre-gaming means that the alcoholic, and this may be in hiding, so you might not be able to detect this. Pre-gaming means that they will drink prior to going to an outing. They'll try to, have 2 or 3 beers, or try to have 2 or 3 glasses of wine, or have 2 or 3 mixed drinks before they go out to an outing. And also they might insist on bringing a drink with them in the car. Whether they're driving or not, they will insist on bringing a drink in the car. And once they're at the venue, look at their behavior. Their behavior is always going to be geared toward alcohol. And an addicted person, that is their only focus. Like that is, even though they may seem like they have other focuses, getting the alcohol is the only focus. So they will notice things that you don't notice as a non-alcoholic. For example, when my alcoholic loved one and I went to a hotel, he would sniff out the bar or bars in that hotel before anything else in the hotel. He would know exactly where they were. He would know their hours, what time they closed, when they opened. He would just know this information. They also make comments about the situation in a public venue. So for example, they'll say like, is it an open bar? Or is there a mini bar in the room? Or how many drink tickets do you get with this, whatever it is? It could be a work party. So they're always calculating where the alcohol might be and where they might find the alcohol. And it's that obsession of the addiction that keeps them on a constant search of the alcohol. And so at the same token, if you are going to a party or venue where there is zero alcohol served, chances are he'll opt out. He won't go with you, or she won't go with you. Or if there is a place, a venue where there will be no alcohol, watch out for pregaming. Watch out for your alcoholic loved one certainly drinking before the event. And it's unfortunate because now everywhere alcohol is served. So even in the movie theaters, even at Starbucks now. So the unfortunate thing is alcohol seems to be cropping up everywhere now. So there isn't really there aren't many places where alcohol is not. So that's another sign or symptom of, is my loved one an alcoholic? Another sign or symptom is he or she will get on the defense if you point out the drinking. There will be arguments, there will be defensive arguments, and alcoholics are very adept at turning the situation around to make it look like it's you and your problem, or they'll point out a problem that you have that may be completely unrelated to the conversation. And that's called the art of deflection. Alcoholics are really good at deflecting, and it's because they've had to defend themselves their entire lives against people pointing out that maybe they're drinking just a little too much. And so they've really acquired this skill to be able to deflect away the attention away from themselves and onto the person who is making the accusations. And so if your alcoholic loved one, or your potentially alcoholic loved one, is angry, upset, makes threats, gives ultimatums to you, like says, if you don't like my drinking, you can leave, or I don't drink that much, you drink just as much as I do. So things like that, arguments like that, if a person gets on the defensive about their drinking and doesn't listen and just is completely shutting you down, chances are he or she is an alcoholic. Another one is blackouts. Now, this isn't usually in late stage alcoholism. It doesn't have to be. Some people who have drinking problems are blackout drinkers. Blackouts are when they're episodes, or they're periods where your memory is not recording what is going on, so they completely forget. So they'll go on a binge, they will drink over the weekend, they'll drink at night, they'll drink at a party, and they will completely forget what happened. Like, you will tell them, this is what you said, this is what you did, this is what happened, and they will have no recollection whatsoever. And it'll appear to you like they're lying, they're just in total denial, which denial is a huge part of the disease. But blackouts are something different. Blackouts are actually holes in the memory where the memory is not recording what's going on. The alcohol is so toxic, it's affecting their brain in a way that they truly can't remember. And so blackout drinkers will not remember, and it could be up to 3 days of episodes. So it could be anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 days, and they may not remember anything that happened during that time period. Those are a few of the signs and symptoms of an alcoholic. There are certainly many, many more, but those are just some clues to you. I mean, those are clues. Those are good clues to say, is my loved one an alcoholic? I really don't know. Like, I don't want to accuse someone of something that they're not, and all of this. And what I say in my book is, if you're watching a video on this, if you're reading a book about the topic, chances are your loved one is indeed an alcoholic. Because when you come to the point where you're desperate enough to search for answers on the topic, search for answers on the situation, especially when it comes to addiction, chances are that that's exactly what it is. So stop second guessing yourself. Look for those signs. Just keep your eyes wide open and kind of go in observation mode. And really, that's a good way, is just to start observing. Observe the behavior, observe the obsession, because the alcohol addiction, and it is a disease. Please, people, you need to know this is clinically, it's a disease. It's not a moral failing. It is a disease. I've interviewed many, many recovering alcoholics, and they would never choose this for themselves consciously. It would never be a conscious choice or a non-conscious choice. It wouldn't. It's not a choice. They feel very trapped in this. It's a disease. It's a mental disease. It's a physical disease. It's a chemical disease. It's a disease of relationship. It's a societal disease. So it really is. So they're not actively choosing this. It affects the brain so deeply that they have a really difficult time getting out of it. So be in observation mode. Look at this. Like, look at this from a perspective of the detective. So you're the detective now. And you're really going to look for those signs and clues as to how is this person behaving? And what kind of symbols and signs do I see? When we go on vacation, when we go out, is the first thing they do is run to the liquor store. You know, in my state, it's referred to as the ABC store. So is that the first thing that they're doing? Are they going to a grocery store to grab beer and wine? Is that like their first priority over all else? So just kind of look for this behavior, and I'm wishing you many, many blessings. This is the beginning of our journey together, and please keep tuning into the videos. And please leave comments and questions, and I'm wishing you a beautiful and blessed day. God bless.